What's up, y'all? This is SBW Music, and I decided to quit. Before we go into why, don't even watch this video if you're not interested in hearing the amazing announcement that comes right at the end. That's right. At the end of this video, I have the inside scoop for what's coming next. So stay right here. Don't go anywhere. So like I said, my name is SBW Music, and you heard me right. I decided to quit. I decided to quit being so pessimistic, so doubtful and skeptical, and overall cynical about the goals, desires, dreams, and plans that God gave me. I realized at the end of the day, it's not even about me. It's about serving God and loving people. So unless y'all haven't been keeping up with my latest posts, a lot of y'all are aware of the rebrand that I had in 2022 from Stephen Bankole Wright to SBW Music. And I'm sure a lot of folks out there might be wondering, why? What's the difference between Stephen Bankole Wright and SBW Music? My answer for y'all, nothing really. I mean, one could argue that Summer Night was more of a ballad, more of an acoustic type song with a little bit of an indie folky type feel, or that's what I was going for anyway.
Nothing more to say, Yahweh. You made a beautiful night. You made a beautiful night.
And my songs nowadays under SBW Music are a little more of a fusion of that gospel, R&B, hip hop, poppy type vibe. But honestly, I would consider that more of an evolution, not really a difference. And even before my first release on all digital platforms, Summer Night, I was still making and producing music. I remember my first song that I ever made, and I'm like embarrassed to even think about it. It's called You Know What It Is. It was my extremely failed attempt of being a rapper, and I released it when I was around 14 years old, not on any platforms or anything like that, but I recorded it on my program, and then I released it like as an MP3 for my family to hear. And my mom loved it so much, just being the supporter that she is and the nurturer that she is. She decided that she wanted it played for my birthday party, and I was like, no, please don't play that for my birthday party, because I did not like where the production was at the time, and I did not like my delivery at all. But it was played at the birthday party, and one thing I could tell y'all is that my mom and my dad are really, really, really supportive parents, and they've been supporting me since day one in this music thing. So I just appreciate them. Props up to them. But here's the thing. Had I never released that song, I would have never gotten to the point where I could release something like Summer Night. Still not the best production, but it was a great song overall, and a lot of people resonated with it, and it was really, really fun to play live, and still to this day, probably is my favorite song that I ever wrote. If I hadn't released something like Summer Night, I would have never gotten to the place where I was working with Crew 12 to release my song called Real Love. And Crew 12 really took that song from where I had it to where it needed to be to sound professional. And it was probably one of the most impactful songs that I'd ever done.
You got that real love. No faking, it's real stuff.
Had I not released Real Love, I probably wouldn't have had the motivation and inspiration to release something like So Good, which was my first viral song on social media. And I probably wouldn't have had the momentum to release Faith Over Fear or Sing Joy, which is arguably probably the greatest song that I've ever done, and one of the most fun collaborations that I've done with Michael Evan Moore.
Sing joy.
The point is, you cannot continue what you haven't even started. That's right. You cannot continue what you haven't even started. If God has given you a dream, a passion, a desire, a goal to preach, teach, build, lecture, whatever it is, go. Do it. Quit being so pessimistic, so cynical, so doubtful of the desires and the aspirations and the goals that God has given you. I believe this so much so that I decided to make this slogan the flagship of the journey that I'm inviting you on now, and that is, your journey begins here. I believe that all humans are stuck in space and time, and they're trying to get from here, wherever their here is, to there, wherever their there is. So here might be ambiguity and the lack of knowledge of what God has called them to do and what they feel like they are led to do. And there might be that freedom, that joy that you're walking in once you realize the purpose that God has called you to do, and once you realize the desires that He's placed on your heart. So I guess now that I think about it, maybe the difference between Stephen Bancoley Wright and sbwmusic is Stephen Bancoley Wright was trying to push a product, probably to a fault, and sbwmusic is trying to push a person to a cause. I believe that we're all created to do something, and God has given us these desires to fulfill them, to carry out His calling. So no matter how many times you feel like you've messed up, no matter how many times you feel like you've failed, no matter how many times you feel like you need to go back to the drawing board and maybe restart, let me encourage you. Your journey begins here. The last thing I want to leave you with is this. You only get one life. Take advantage of the time. Start your journey. Thank you so much for listening to me. This is SBW Music. Stay tuned for more content. All right, y'all. Peace. Wait a minute, before I leave, let me tell y'all the announcement I was going to tell y'all. I promise I won't let y'all down. So I'm releasing a single at the end of this month, June 30th, called Glory with Leslie Gonzalez.
Every day I'm living for your gracious giving, only for your glory. So alive. Don't put out the fire.
She's a worship leader at Saddleback Church. She's been a worship leader at CBU Chapel Band, and I'm so excited to join forces with her again to release this brand new single called Glory. So here's what I want you to do. When we drop that song, make sure you cop that song. Okay? Glory, June 30th, all platforms. SBW Music featuring Leslie Gonzalez. Go get it everywhere. June 30th. All right, y'all. Peace.